Imagine this. You're getting ready for a ride, and you look at your jacket and gloves and think, I'll be fine without them today. Now, let's meet future you, coming straight from the year 2055. Future you arrives, covered head to toe in protective gear. What are you doing? They say, looking at you with disbelief. Do you know how many times I had to fix a broken bone in the last 30 years because of decisions like this? Future you isn't happy. And let's face it, they have a point. But it's too hot out. Present you complains. Future you shakes their head, pulling out a photo from 2030. Yep, that's you, sitting on the side of the road rash all over, holding your scraped up elbow. Remember this? How hot do you think that felt? Future you has a knack for winning arguments. But why do we make decisions like this in the first place? It's not that we don't know better. We all understand the risks, so why do we still sometimes choose comfort over safety? It all boils down to human nature. We're wired for instant gratification. What feels good right now? Psychologists call this present bias. Today's discomfort of wearing gear looms large, while the risk of an accident seems distant and abstract. Then there's optimism bias, our belief that misfortune happens to others, not us. We convince ourselves we're careful, that this ride will be uneventful. It's a mental trick persuading us that taking risks is okay because we're somehow exceptional. I'm making this video because someone close to me recently pointed out that I wasn't wearing my riding gloves, and it got me thinking, why not? My goal is to become a wise old man, so why weren't my actions aligning with that goal? I decided to dig deeper and find some ways to hack my brain for safer riding. Here are 4 tips I discovered. Tip number 1, habit stacking. One of the easiest ways to build a new habit is to pair it with something you already do. For most of us, getting the bike ready is already part of the ritual. Checking the tires, warming up the engine, making sure everything's in good shape. So why not make gearing up part of that same routine? You could say, right after I check my tire pressure, I'll put on my jacket and gloves. By connecting the action of gearing up to an existing habit, it becomes automatic. No more second guessing or skipping it because you're in a hurry. Tip number 2, think of it as an act of empowerment. Wearing your gear isn't just about following a rule, it's about owning your decisions. When you put on your helmet, jacket, and gloves, think of it as a choice you're making to protect yourself, to keep enjoying the ride for years to come. It's about saying, I'm in control, and I'm taking care of myself. It's not about restrictions. It's about freedom, the freedom to ride longer, with confidence. Every time you gear up, you're choosing to be the best rider you can be. Tip number 3, reframe the discomfort. Let's be real, sometimes gear is uncomfortable. But instead of focusing on that, try to see it differently. Think of the slight weight of your jacket as the armor that lets you stay in the game. Think of that snug helmet as the shield that keeps you safe. This strategy directly tackles present bias by shifting your perception of discomfort. Instead of focusing on the immediate, minor inconvenience, think of it as a necessary part of protecting yourself. It's like suiting up as a warrior before heading into battle. Every piece of gear has a purpose, and every bit of discomfort is a small price for what you gain. You're not just a rider, you're a rider prepared for anything the road throws your way. Tip number 4, gamify the process. We all love a good challenge, right? So why not turn wearing your gear into a game? Track how many consecutive rides you can do fully geared up, keep a tally in your phone, or even use a habit tracker app. This addresses both present bias and optimism bias by creating an immediate sense of achievement and motivation. Set a streak goal, like 30 rides with all your gear, and reward yourself when you reach it. Maybe it's that new set of gloves you've been eyeing, or a special ride to celebrate. Turning it into a game makes the process more engaging, and seeing your progress gives you that extra motivation to keep going, making it easier to prioritize safety. Future you looks at present you, who's now holding the jacket and putting on the gloves. Imagine how much easier making good choices could be if you always thought about future you. Present you smiles, finally understanding. All right, you win. Let's make sure future me has an even better time. Future you nods approvingly. And just like that, they've become friends. Not because they always made the easy choice, but because they made the right one. So next time, make sure to gear up, because your future self will thank you for it, both on the road and in life. What about you? Do you always wear your gear? And what tips do you have to help others make the better choice? Let's share and help each other out in the comments below.